Do you want to do anything before Tyler or go right to Tyler? So Tyler, I am going to make you host. When you leave, you need to remember to make me host again. You know how?
Got it. I can do that.
Okay. So I'm turning over the host job to you. I'll let you know if somebody comes into the meeting that we need to let in.
Okay.
All right, you're up, Tyler.
All right, let me see if I can share my screen.
Excuse me.
That's a pretty.
Can you guys see that? Can you guys see
Yes.
that okay?
Yep. You can scroll in a little bit and make it bigger as you need to.
Okay. I'll just give you a quick overview. Thanks for having me tonight. This project that we're working on is very similar to the project we did, I guess it was 2 years ago and change on North Road, just above this project, this culvert. It's a really similar site. The culvert in there now is pretty well shot. It's an old rusted metal pipe that's basically at the end of its life. Similar to last time, I'm pulling together some design plans for you, the hydraulics, the permit applications, and then when you guys are ready and get construction funding, we'll go out to bid and get a contractor on board, and then I'll work with the contractor to do layout, inspection, any permitting, regulatory stuff, and get it built for you guys. So I'm just gonna do a quick run through the site plan. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So on my plans, north is always up. So you got North Road running north-south right here. The kind of wetlandy field area is here, and the stream runs west to east this way and goes out into the field that way. So I'm keeping the alignment essentially the same. It's just a bigger structure. We kind of followed suit with your preferences last time and are going with a precast concrete box. They're nice and rugged. It's a really deep site, so it should give 75 to 100 years of service life. So hopefully dig this up now and you don't have to do it again for a long time. It's about the same length. I made it a little longer just to tie into grades better. I've got some rock armoring just to stabilize a little bit of erosion that's there now on the inlet and the outlet, and then some pretty simple boulder head walls just to kind of feather out the sides. It is a long structure. It does go out onto private property on both sides. With a 49.5-foot right of way, it's awful tough to replace a structure of this size. So I've got the easements shown. It's probably hard to see on your screen, but some very kind of simple rectangular easements shown on both sides of the road to get it built and for a little elbow room during construction. To give you a better cross section. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
Okay. This is a cross section of the culvert and roadway if you were going down the center line of the stream. So the stream's coming in the left side of the page here, going through this new precast box culvert here. Finished road grade will stay exactly the same. Guardrails going back, so it should look and feel and drive identical to what's out there now. Final grade stays the same. Again, on the outlet, I've got some rock armor. There's kind of a scour erosion hole there now. We're gonna fill that in with some rock armor and then kind of taper it and transition it right to that existing channel. Flipping to the other cross section, as if you're cutting right through the middle of the center line of road. This dashed green line, zoom in a bit. This dashed green line right here is the existing center line of road grade. This is the new box drafted in. So it's like I said, it's going to be a very deep excavation. I think we're 35 feet deep, so it's quite a bit of earth to move out of there to drop a relatively small culvert in, but no other way to do it. So it'll look and feel very similar. I think the other culvert we did a couple years ago was about the same depth, maybe a little bit shallower. The other culvert from a couple years ago was a little bit bigger than this one, but it'll look and feel very similar to the last project we did together. This site will have both Army Corps and Agency of Natural Resources for approvals. I'd like to show these plans to you guys first, and if you guys are comfortable and happy with everything, I'll draft up the permit applications and send those in. They take usually 2 or 3 or 4 months to get, so they're good to get in, get them reviewed, and we'll have plenty of time to get construction funding lined up. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
I figured, I was wondering if it was gonna be the same depth, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Funny, not this place to put dirt.
Yeah.
I should be.
No, it's about the same depth. It will be a lot of fill to come out of there. I think we'll put, most of the last project, most of the fill we took out was quite good. The stuff near the bottom was not great, some of the ledge we took out, but I think on this site, we'll have a similar situation where a lot of the fill, it's old road fill. It should be good to reuse.
That'd be nice.
Yes, very good. Nice job.
Thank you.
So, this was funded, this engineering was funded by a Class 2 engineering grant, and then with a 20% match. And then, the reason that we did that is because when we met with the road guys, last year, there was a special meeting with the regional guys. And actually, you were there too, Tyler, I think. They said that basically having something that's shovel ready puts you in a better place for a structures grant than if you don't. So now we have what we need to get into the
It
running.
always has to have them prepped up and ready to go. Others back out.
Right.
And you guys should be able to just use my engineering plans, attach them right to your application to go into the state, so they can see that you guys are, do have a plan in place, permits. It does look, I think it helps your chances of getting the construction grant quite a bit, and showing that you already made the first effort to get the first step done.
Do you need our approval to forward your permits?
No, I don't need your approval at this point. I just wanted to show you the plans to make sure you guys were comfortable with them. I'll draft up the permit applications in the next week or so and get them over to you guys and Kathy for signatures, and then we'll submit them. I don't think there's a huge rush. I mean, we still need construction funding. It's only November, so we've got some time to get these in. So I just wanted you guys to have a quick look at it to make sure you guys are good before I put together permit applications for something that's going to change.
Should be pretty straightforward.
Tyler? Brian is waiting to be admitted, and I can't do that because you're the host.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not used to being the host. I just hit admit.
And can you unhost if you're done sharing, please?
Yes.
So click on Town of Fairfield, the little 3 dots, and then just
Okay.
make host.
There we go.
Thank you.
All yours.
Thank you.
Hi, Brian. Can you hear us?
It's okay, he's just listening in anyways.
Yeah, I got it. I'm here. I'll just be mute unless you need me.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Pretty straightforward though, there's nothing, it's just a box culvert, like you said, it's like the last one. There's not any concerns you have or anything special or different?
No, it's like you said, it's very, very similar to the last one. Probably the same vintage that the last one was put in. They're just all coming due because they're 50, 60, 70 years old. I think we talked about this last time, but when you get the structures grant,
Put in
you
1962,
can
weren't they?
max out at $200,000, which is great. That won't be enough to cover a project of this size. So similar to last time, I can't remember how you did it exactly last time, but last time it was kind of a mix of structures grant money, town money. I can't remember if you got another grant in there, but
ARPA.
you'll need to kind of.
Oh, we had some ARPA money.
Yeah, we threw ARPA in there.
Yeah, so this, no different this time around. I doubt 2023 pricing will hold good for this culvert. We can hope. But like everything else, they are quite expensive with that much excavation, backfill, the box itself, paving, everything kind of adds up. So you should prepare for additional funds beyond that $200,000 structures grant, just to cover that gap from the grant to what it's going to cost.
No ledge in this one?
I'm sorry?
No ledge that you know of down there?
Not that we know of. I will include ledge in the bid form just to make sure we have an item in there to peck out some ledge if we need to. There is ledge. You can see it on the road just before you get to that site, kind of up on a corner there. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit some down there and had to peck some out, but you don't know until you get down there.
Right, I just figured you probably thought of that, but I was just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
No, I think that's,
We had to do quite a bit down by Robbie and Danny's, right?
Yeah. But, you know,
I think that's good if, like you said, the next step, you're gonna put the applications together and send them to us for signatures and,
yeah, we're good. Dinner.
Yeah, once we send those in, I mean, like I said, it'll take months by the time the state and the feds review it, it'll take months. So you guys are, schedule-wise, are doing really well right now, so there's no urgent rush to get them in. It's just nice to get them in, get them on the shelf. They usually, by the time you get your permit, they typically have a 2 or 3 or 4 year time frame before they expire. So we'll get them put on the shelf, and you'll be shovel ready when you guys are ready when you get funding.
And the grants expire over 2 years, so that particular grant has a 2-year window instead of a 1-year window for projects.
Nice presentation, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Tyler.
If you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.
So the minutes are on I just want to say, I haven't heard that she's not coming in.
I doubt anyone else is.
I would be surprised the condition of those roads.
The hill is closed now. My daughter just told me.
Okay,
Stay on the hill.
I think Retta's coming that way, so. Okay,
She's not coming
she's not.
unless she goes around.
Okay, so,
That won't be wise.
yeah. The tier 1, I think that her tier 1B presentation is between this meeting and the next, and she wanted to see if you had any updates in your opinion, or if you wanted to move anything forward, but if she's not here and you're not ready to do that, then you can go ahead and skip it. The minutes are on the back of the agenda.
Make a motion, we accept it.
I'll second it, just get moving along.
Any errors, omissions, or comments? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
So the Sherman Road is surrounded currently by property owned by Andrew Douglas. So there's no driveway on there, there's no other property owner, and this segment of road is classified on the map as a not up to standard road, so we're not getting money for that road. And he would like to know if the select board would be interested in throwing it up. So I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about that tonight.
So he owns both sides of that road now?
He owns, yep, all the property around that road.
And on the end, where,
It meets 36, going toward Bakersfield.
How long the road is it?
I have it right here. Hold on.
Third of a mile.
It's just a
It's
dead
like,
end, right?
it's like a
Yeah.
driveway, dead end.
You can't
Yeah.
go too far, because it hits that brook's gonna be behind it, so there's no
Right.
culvert in there.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's 0.22 or
We'll
something.
save us money if we get it.
It's not costing you any money right now, but it all depends.
So there's a whole process that you go through with public comment, and so there would be time to discuss it again. But if you're interested, I can start that ball rolling.
Or would you classify it as a trail?
Trail nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
trail just into this.
Yeah, you can go class 4 with it, but class 4 trail.
And we wouldn't have to, if something happened down the road, you wouldn't have to maintain anything.
Yeah.
And it's currently not up to standard, like it's documented on this map as not up to standard, so it's actually, even though it's not classified as class 4, it's at class
It's
4.
class 4.
Yeah.
But if you reclassify it, it's gonna also need a whole hearing process.
How have we done that before? I mean, there's other people that live on crappy roads like that the town doesn't maintain. What do we?
Just when they came in, we told them that they were responsible for maintaining,
Maintenance of the road themselves.
you know, even though it was a town class 4 road.
Right, we own it. The town of Fairfield owns
Owns
it.
that road right to
But-
that camp
Owns
was.
it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So currently, it's just a right-of-way into his property and on both sides, and it doesn't, we're not maintaining it.
Is there any?
And we're only talking 2 or 3 acres in there, I think, or less.
3.34, something like that, if I remember right.
So, I mean, it's
I don't have a real problem throwing it up if the guy owns the property on both sides.
all around it, right?
Yeah.
Was that at one point just a way to skirt that hill?
That's the
and not
main,
have
that
to
was the
go-
main road.
That was,
Right.
that was an old town road, yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever built, the guy that built that camp had part of the land and the other half was owned by town of Bakersfield.
Yeah.
What did Bakersfield do with their side of the road? Do you know?
They gave it to us when we got the other part.
When we did that boundary business,
Right, but the Sherman Road now doesn't connect back
to anything.
to anything. So what happened to that segment from the end?
Basically dropped off the map in 36, got put over the hill.
Must have gone right up through, probably by that reservoir.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, is it used to go behind the reservoir and around.
You're right.
So
I had to
Bakersfield
come
would
out-
have,
I had to come out by that bridge, cause
Right,
there was
right.
never no bridge down below there, so I
Right.
had to just go around that circle and they
Yeah.
straightened it up over the hill, you know.
Right.
That must have
same
been,
curve.
that must have been a bugger years
so
ago.
that's what I'm wondering, from where we end at the town line, back to that bridge on 36, what did Bakersfield do with that? Just throw it up to the,
I don't know if they
They'd
ever
have
did.
to figure that out, I think.
You know, I've never been in there, and you never saw no, like, by the bridge, you don't see no roadway there, it's all trees.
Yeah.
So, if you
I'm
wanna
just-
see it, it's like literally right on the corner of the, like you said, of the.
yeah, so I'm just
line.
thinking of, we have it, is there a reason to keep it at all? I mean, is it a connector that,
It wouldn't connect to anything else that I can think of, can you?
no, that's what I'm saying, is it's just a skirt around that hill, I mean, the horse.
Well, it
horse
is the
road
it was the
used to-
old
It's a
road.
dead end.
Yeah, it's the old road, just like that one by, before my place, that make that loop old Fiddler's Elbow.
Yep.
And up by my tool shed, over by
If you
Tom's.
wanted to go- if you wanted to go anywhere with it, you'd have to put a culvert in the bridge,
Yeah.
in the brook.
Right, but the way the road originally went was basically behind the water tank,
Yeah.
and
or
then-
the water system up there, and back onto 36 instead of going straight. So just, is there any reason to keep the right of way in case you ever wanted to do that in the future, or is it?
I don't have a preference one way or the other. I'm pretty,
Yeah, I don't see where you would ever wanna go around that when you got the road right straight up over the hill.
Well, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
And that's
just
not
to-
even our, you know, Route 36 is not ours.
Right,
yeah.
but if,
It might be wise just to get it off the map and just give it up.
Well, I'm kinda thinking, the guy pays taxes on it now, you know, he's the only person on it, gets rid of one thing you don't have to deal with anymore.
Right.
know.
Sounds like you're all in agreement that I
You
could
wanna make a motion?
start the process.
I'd make a motion to start proceeding of abandonment of that road, Sherman Street.
I'll second that, yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll say no, just to be no.
That would
I
work
like
well.
keeping stuff.
That works well.
I don't,
I'm not promoting it hard either. If we get into it and we find out more about it, somebody hears about it,
Somebody, yeah.
someone else in there says, well, why are you giving that up from that area that knows far more than we do about it? We can always just say, hey, guess what? We're backing off.
Gonna cost a lot, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's gonna cost something.
usually does.
yeah.
You should check in with Brian about.
Usually does.
Brian, you want to vote?
He might have stepped away.
Maybe fell asleep on you.
Whatever.
Oh, God, say he abstained. Okay,
I vote yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
yes, okay.
Sorry to wake you up.
Yeah.
So the Cargill quote letter came in, I talked with Tom about it, it increased by 3.3%. So we decided that we'd sign and return it because Cargill is
That's the
really,
only game in
the
the
only-
city.
the only-
Talk to Morris, and that's the only place you can get salt. And
Yeah.
they're the only,
You don't have, you know, your hands are tied.
Yeah.
and they have the contract for the state of Vermont roads as well, so it's convenient to them. So I sent that back in, I signed and returned it. In the accounts payable, the Ledge Tech blasting invoice came in at
Yes, it did.
$12,700. Gavin and I talked about that before. And we knew that it was gonna come in, it was gonna come high, and it was signed by Mo, and it's also, I just wanna say it publicly because it's also a specialized service, so it falls under our
Purchasing.
purchasing policy for a specialized service.
Have you been up to see that?
No, I haven't.
You should take a ride. If you'd been up there before.
Oh, I've been up there, yeah.
It was.
I went up with Mo one day, gave him a ride back to his truck up on
Yeah.
Egypt Road. Really did a nice job up there.
Yeah. I told them they should just, fill it in
Bring in a little more fill on the right-hand side.
towards the ledge.
Yeah,
Don't
but I
need it
mean,
that deep, and
Oh.
push the course bank run,
yeah.
and you could get 5 more feet of road and straighten
It's just
it up.
amazing though. I mean, before, literally, the truck plow and wing took up the whole road.
Yeah.
And you could not see anybody coming up the other way.
It was terrifying.
And now they really did a nice job on that. Plus they got a bunch of stone piled up in Matt's pit, don't they? So we can use on other projects too from that ledge. Really, I was impressed with what a nice job they did on that thing.
Oh, they did a nice ditch, I mean.
Well, the parent boy did a great job on bringing that thing out right too. I was impressed with all that they could done with that.
I talked to Morris, and I just told him we had to fill it way to the ledge.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a lot of water there, and if you use coarse gravel or stone,
It'll filter right through it.
filter right through it and down the road.
Yeah. I would think people living up in that neck of the woods would be loving that thing now, because you can see people coming and go.
It was dangerous
It was
before. It was,
Might even be handy, I mean, not that, you know, for our tractors and stuff,
Yeah, it'll be safer for everyone.
yeah.
There's
We're
no doubt
wide.
about that up there.
We're wide.
Yep.
Let's see, so also in AP, the first invoice for the Common School Planning Grant from the architect came in. So that's budgeted under number 41. So all of our general fund is in budgets 10, so that's the number that's all the way on the side. But so specialized grants they're organized into different places. So this is all being charged to the Common School Planning Grant. And that means that I'm putting it into the common school budget. So at the end, all of that accounting can be done and reconciled with the grant, and also if you want to match it from the CD, you can do that. And the last invoice for the vault shelves came in, which is great. Okay, so the audit is done. The 2024 audit is done as of Friday. And we did spend quite a lot of extra time in October, just really working on trying to understand their journal entries. It was not clear. They sent them across the year, so it was confusing.
They
Yeah.
being Pleisch?
Yeah, this is P.E.G. So they stopped 3 times. So once at the end of all of the review, and then they stop at the end of that and they put it off until like March or April. And then they pick it back up after their business accounts are done, and they sent the journal entries. And then they stop and they do some other stuff, summer stuff, I think. And then they pick it back up and they do more work with us. And then they have to wait for something with the state to come up with numbers. So it's just taken a long time this year.
I was gonna say,
We have
what's
one
changed
more-
so on that though? Because we used to get that thing
Yeah,
Wow,
everything.
a month
I
later.
think this
What's
was
that?
just that single audit they had to
No,
go through
it's
because of
not
FEMA.
this year
No.
anymore. It's not. It's
Just the way they
literally
operate now?
just the way they operate now. And they're coming in. They were going to come in today, but because of the delays, they're coming in at the next meeting so that you can talk to them about that if you want. We have one more year with them under our contract, so we'll see.
And they have done a decent job in the past.
When we
Things
get the
changes.
audit, it is always very thorough.
Yeah.
You know, they do, and they do work with us through it all to make sure that things, you know, they're accessible for our questions when we get to those places where we're like, why is this $100,000 off? You know, they know exactly what's going on, and they can put a journal entry in place so that it adjusts the correct thing so that it makes sense. So they do work with us when it's time. It's just
Good enough.
a lot of stopping. The appropriations are all paid in that AP as well, and except for the fire, we're waiting for the audit reports.
Their treasurer's always behind.
It's okay.
We need to update him.
Yeah, please do.
We're a
Will
little
that
early.
let you?
Let's see, so a lot of my time has been audit and also doing the increased accounting that takes place in October and November so that we're ready to do the budgeting in December and the numbers are accurate and clear. So that's basically where we've been. The one really big issue that I need you to know is that Passive sent an insurance letter with the values. Collection is due the end of this week, early next week. And the increase to our properties, because they just did that reappraisal, was 112% increase. And Kelly will be providing us with appraisal information. But I looked back at HUD, the Hub, excuse me, they were the insurance company prior to Passive for 15 years, and I've talked with Amanda, and it looks like between the two the investigation and the conversation, they never did a reappraisal of the properties. They only just applied regular, inflation rates on the price. So I have the, I just wanted to make sure that you know this because, oops, that was lovely. So,
So is it 12% increase?
no,
or
111%, 112.
In the
more than
value,
double?
It's
the
like
appraisal value?
more than doubled.
Right, the appraisal value.
The appraisal. So it's not the cost of our insurance, we haven't gotten that yet. I have to do some data entry for them in order for them to calculate the next year, but this is part of next year.
So they're saying the East Fairfield Fire Department station is worth close to $1 million for replacement value?
Well, look at the common school. At least they got that at over $1 million.
Are these guys, like, I'll say it on camera, what are they smoking? Because the library is 1.1 and the common school is 1.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
they're gonna be sending me their appraisal information tomorrow. So, I'm sorry it's not here right now, but
This is through that VLCT.
seems to me like we should be able to do, when Nemrick did their appraisal, they did it all for all of the taxes, taxable properties. They didn't appraise these buildings, but there was a whole process that you could go through to challenge that number, and it seems like they should.
I guess what is the impact of this change in appraisal? It's no different than a taxpayer saying, oh my God, my house went to 400 from 200. If the tax is the same.
Right, it's
Right.
what they're insuring has now doubled, basically.
It's gonna cost.
What they're insuring or what they're
cost.
willing to pay us, yeah, because if our
It's
cost
gonna
is
cost you
still,
more. They got the values of the buildings are up more, it's gonna cost you more for insurance.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like Chester's, that didn't do anything, so why would the common school go up so much, guys? It's the same old building.
Yeah, same old building.
You know, it's nothing, it's worth less than it was
I
10
guess
years
that's,
ago.
what's our premium due?
that's part of this, so I have to connect with her about this. She's gonna give us information. We can have another meeting about this when I have that information if you'd like. But so the whole calculation for everything, workman's comp, everything goes into their system, including this. I haven't finalized anything because I stopped. I stopped everything when I saw this, and it will increase. I mean, part of the property valuation is that they want to create a guaranteed replacement cost. So,
Right, so we don't have all the information, so you need to ask
Right,
them, what's our premium estimate for next year? Because,
so we have to find out a few things. I can ask them what the premium estimate based on this will be for next year, and also I need to know what we can do to question their methods if we want to do that.
yeah, we're not gonna win that battle, but we need to know, when is our renewal date?
So this goes in now, the renewal date is December 15th, I believe. So they're getting all of this information in. I have to basically go in and approve this. And then they give me the increase. So what I can ask Kelly is if she can not approve it and give me the increase. And then find out.
Come on up, Greta.
So if I don't approve everything in the system, I'm sure she can still give me an increase. So I'll do that and then have
So
something to talk
should we
about.
reach out
You did well to
to
get here.
somebody else? and get
It's
a
already out.
quote as well?
We don't have a lot of time.
Fairfield Hills.
That's the way insurance works, so
I
none of
know.
them do it.
Luckily Dave gave me a ride.
Once ahead.
You bring your horse or? Bring your horse or snowmobile?
Is it
So
worth?
are these values here, that theirs, or is that what we buy
They
from the
had, you brought you did an appraisal,
Yeah, that wasn't
random,
an appraisal,
walk away.
the way they presented it, but that was taking pictures just so if something happened to a building, they had a record of what was in it, so they knew what the replacement was, which I
Right.
can see how they helped do this, but
This wasn't off on our appraisal thing.
No, this is
just
them
their
doing
own,
it.
their own
so
coming up with their.
do we need to go reach out for a bid? Because December 31st, if they give us a premium that's through the roof and our renewal is January 1st, it's too late to ask that. And
So the other thing that
No, it's
happened,
not gonna go down.
the last time we did this, what happened was, we could start. Of course, we would wanna haul, but also, they would, what is it called, give you credit for the months that you paid.
Prorate
if you
it.
wanna- Yeah, prorate, if you wanna move to a different insurance company, they don't charge you the whole amount, you're not locked in. You just have to,
Well, when you double the value, I think you were gonna hear some squawking on something here.
right, exactly.
doubling the value doesn't bother me. It's how does that affect my premium?
Right.
So
It is curious that they've already done this once, so that, like, a common school, to see that, that's confusing to us.
Yeah,
This isn't the first time they looked at it.
no, I agree. I mean,
We've
before
been
we-
with them a year.
Yeah.
They should have had this all a year ago. This should have been all done up and
Well,
figured
they went
out.
around to everything before we even signed
Right.
up and,
That's what I mean.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, the common school's not doubled, it's, one.
So there's not much we can do because we don't have all the information.
Right, this is a
So
real heads up to
I
make sure
think
that you
Yeah,
know.
Our-
common school's gone up 5.5 times.
Yeah.
I think our direction should be figure out, have them get a premium estimate or put something together ASAP for us.
Right,
And then start putting bugs in other people's ears and tell them to, if they're interested.
and I'll have
sorry.
information tomorrow, if any of you wanna be in on the phone call. Kelly and I are gonna be meeting and talking about it as soon as I get that information. So, you'd be welcome to be in that. But I'm feeling similar. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense that it would be
I think it was
overnight.
about 6 times what the old school was
I
into.
don't know, it doesn't make sense.
That's,
So,
And
and,
then you don't know
and
what
we
you're gonna
still,
do
we still don't know how much, I mean, I do know that we have, yeah, so we may be okay, you know, it may be that
I wouldn't say that.
they have a high, a higher amount of money that we're locked into anyway than we did before. I think it was 10 million, not 10 million, but I can't remember. I think it was-
Either way, let's wait until we get all the information.
Right,
but-
exactly, so.
But
we'll-
start reaching out to
we'll
other
do.
companies and just
Yeah.
say, we have a renewal date, are you interested in a municipal plan?
I can do that,
Because insurance, none of them are,
yeah.
well, they've all gone up this year.
yeah.
But
Well, right,
15%
I expect
maybe, not that
an
kind of-
increase from everybody, but
Yeah.
none of them are your friends.
Right,
I don't care if
exactly.
they're car insurance or municipal.
Insurance, yeah.
No, the other one used to be. What was his name, Marvin? What was the old guy that used
So I'll reach out to other
Yeah.
companies, the ones, especially the ones that bid
200.
previously, and I'll make sure
Who
that
did that?
I connect with her to find out what
But
the
it shouldn't be, it's not
rate
based on
would-
listing value?
how the
Or
rate would
like
change.
the
Is the listing.
assessment?
Okay, and she's gonna send me information on how they got to those numbers, because I think we all disagree with some of these numbers, so,
Let's get all the information before we
Right,
jump and get
exactly.
too excited, because
right.
Let's get Gretchen, so she can.
Gretchen.
get back.
So she can get back over the hill.
go
Did you
skiing.
get, so I heard that we heard that it was closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. And I was coming from Swanton and I was like, oh, I don't want to take the back road. So I was like, oh, I'll take 36, which was, it was a split decision instead of taking like Woods Hill and, and
They're all
Pond
bad
Road.
tonight, it doesn't
And then I
matter.
was like, oh my, so I was taking Pond Road anyway because I couldn't get up Fairfield Hill. Because the tractor trailer's jackknifed or something.
Oh,
How,
And they don't
how's Pondra?
I mean, I luckily already have my snow tires on, and I was just going slow. And it's not great, but there's a lot of snow on it, but it's fine.
Good stuff.
You're going slow and you have snow tires.
I mean, it's
I have
snowy,
four-wheel
but
drive in
it,
all seasons on my
It's
car.
traction in, I can move through
My car
two-wheel
doesn't have
drive.
snow.
Yeah.
And I just got no winter tires, or summer tires, but.
When I got there, they were like, "We have no idea how long it's going to be closed. We just sent someone up. The guy doesn't have good English." I don't know.
I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you
Yeah.
made it safe.
I was already out, so I was like, I just drove home, and I was like, I'll call in there. And I was like, all right, I'm already here. I almost drive by the office. Anyhow,
So you're on.
so I'm here to talk about the Act 250 Tier 1B jurisdiction decision that is before the board. So you should have a memo and a map that you can should have had time to review ahead of this decision. But just in summary, again, Act 181 that was passed last year in 2024 made changes to regional future land use mapping and how decisions are made for Act 250 jurisdiction specifically related to housing projects. So the areas on our regional future land use map that are mapped as centers and village areas, and in the bigger towns, planned growth areas, are areas that are eligible for this housing exemption from Act 250 for projects of 50 units or less on 10 acres or less. So in Fairfield, there's areas around East Fairfield and Fairfield Center that are mapped as village center and village area. It's the dark purple and the light pink on the map. I can pass it around if you guys don't have a copy in front of you. And so essentially the change that made by the law was that instead, well, it's a new exemption that didn't exist before, but it's tied to when the regional plan is approved by the State Land Use Review Board, which is a new board. Instead of the Act 250 board used to be the Natural Resource Board, now the Act 250 board is the Land Use Review Board, and they also approve regional plans. So when our regional plan is approved, then all the towns that have opted into the Tier 1B Act 250 jurisdiction, that jurisdiction will go into effect. And then the other thing to note, just as a reminder, that currently there's an interim exemption in place in the a quarter-mile buffer of the existing designated village center. So there's already an exemption here. And then and so this is an opportunity to continue it with like a modified boundary based on the mapping. I will note that look at the entire town of Fairfield. This is actually really a small area that is going to be subject to this activity exemption. It's not very much land. I think the Planning Commission was pretty conservative in working with NRPC on defining the areas that would be eligible for this around the village centers. They do have to be around the village centers and generally walkable to the area, and then there's some other standards that go into it. But we do work with towns to prepare these maps. Local planning and zoning does go factor into the boundary. We do have the Land Use Review Board is holding a site visit and a public meeting this Thursday. One of the reasons why I suggested that we get it on the agenda tonight is just because I think it'll be nice for us to know which towns are opting in. The Land Use Review Board is interested in knowing.
Melissa, you got any comments?
There's so little land for us.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Yeah.
So little land, but there's room for big impact. Is that fair?
I mean, yes, if you, like, look at Dan Brannon's property.
Without using names or
Well,
specific,
that's
but
just a specific piece of
Yeah,
property that is
yeah.
available. Most of the other is already conserved. There's really not much in East Fairfield that's open. Maybe a little bit up on Gilbert Hill. But maybe a little on Church Road when you add that quarter mile out, but there's not really, the impact is so minimal because the space is so small and the available land to develop is small. Could the impact be big? Potentially.
Depends on water availability, right?
Well, water and sewage are both big problems.
Right, and so one thing I'll note again to remind is that this is just Act 250, not local zoning. So a project, the difference is that instead of coming in and to do a project and having to get zoning and Act 250, if you were 50 units or less, on 10 acres or less, you would only have to do zoning. All other state permits would still apply. So water, wastewater, stormwater, wetlands, all of that would still apply. And you would still need to get those state permits. It's just the Act 250. And so it'll hit those, 10 units, 10 lots is the existing trigger for Act 250. So it would hit, that middle ground potentially, over 10, like the 12, the 13 that maybe you would see. A lot of subdivisions that you're not seeing that level of size of development currently.
I mean, we saw the potential for an 8-unit development explode the town. Like everyone went crazy because we're gonna look like Fairfax. So clearly the sentiment in the neighborhood is anti-development.
The loudest sentiment.
The loudest sentiment.
Yeah, it depends how it's all laid out and everything, future ones.
I can't imagine a development of 25 properties on 10 acres. I mean, I suppose it could happen, but I can't imagine it getting through zoning without a lot of extra work.
Well, water and sewer would be a
I-
big issue. 'cause
I mean,
most
the
of
water
that-
is maxed out in this village.
Right, I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say, the water is,
There's not a lot of availability. And we don't have sewage, obviously, so that's a problem.
One of the goals, sorry, I don't need to really.
No, you're good, chip in. That is-
I was gonna say, one of the goals around this is to allow for lesser permitting requirements in areas that are planned for new development or new housing development around centers. So the idea is that
keep it clustered.
they're walkable, they're near the school, they're near the town office. If there's any businesses there, they're near the businesses. So it's not further out in the town. Further out in the town would still require Act 250. But it's, most of the towns I think there's only one town so far that has taken action not to opt in right now. Well, they didn't take action not to opt in, but they decided not to opt in. Decided not to take action, Fletcher. And there's a few towns that haven't made the decision yet. Like, for example, Fairfax is still working on it. Enosburg hasn't. No, Enosburg, sorry, just did. Every other town so far has. But just to give you an idea.
I guess my thought was not to opt in, leave Act 250 is one more.
I don't see any advantage. I mean, what's it gonna do for the town? I understand.
What's it not gonna do for the town? I mean, I think if these areas are where you wanna see housing growth, then there's no harm in
But you can have
saying.
growth now, you just have to do Act 250 permit, right?
Correct, so you're basically
So
you're giving an incentive to a property owner that does housing in these areas. So it's kind of like an incentive for that property owner that is gonna do housing in these areas, because these areas have been identified as where you wanna see housing
Yeah.
growth, as opposed to out in the rural areas. So since these areas are where you wanna see housing growth, the idea would be that it would be a little cheaper and maybe not take as long to get your permit, because you wouldn't have to do local zoning and Act 250. And housing is generally very much needed. So my opinion would be that it's a win, but it's, again, it's not necessarily gonna stop it. They would just have to do activity 250. So it's up to you.
I think I would opt to go through it, but just, it's not gonna hurt us that much.
This is the state program that's really pushing the,
It's Act 250 jurisdiction. The legislature passed this law, but they did allow for there to be local choice.
yeah, but
So select boards can decide.
who's the big people behind it that's trying to push this? Is it the state?
I think it was, in the administration, the legislature last year, this is one of the things that they felt they could do that was in their control to help the housing crisis. They felt that there was, or not felt, but I think that the facts laid out the fact that we are not building enough homes as fast as we need to for the people in our communities, and that's one of the factors that's driving the cost. And so this was one, certainly there's things out of our control that we, the interest rates.
So someone's gonna put a big rental unit like they have now in St. Albans and all over the place. Would that fall underneath this?
If it was more than 10 units,
It's 10 to 50 units on 10 acres or less.
right, up to,
Yeah,
yes.
so if some developer wanted to put a building like the ones that.
As long as it was allowed in your zoning, then yes, it still would have to be permitted under your local zoning.
You're saying like one of those those 3 or
Right.
4 big buildings they just put in with
Yeah.
100 or so units and,
Right.
I don't know your zoning well enough
that.
to know how that would be allowed in the village
And I
district.
guess that's my
Can't-
thought is.
I can't
sure the
imagine
town
that it
wants
would be.
Act 250
It's
is
not
another layer
addressed,
of
but
help for us.
Yeah.
We're a small town, we've seen what disagreement can do, we have volunteer boards. I'm not a,
One of the things, I mean, to that point, if you do opt in, there is this resolution, and one of the requirements is that the municipality attest to the fact that there is municipal staff, municipal officials, or contracted capacity adequate to support development review and zoning administration in the Tier 1B area. And so you do have to attest to that and part of that
Yeah.
is, you know, sufficient zoning administration, a budget to support administration of development regulations, technical
it's
assistance
a
if
thing, you assume a
needed.
lot of costs when you start playing those big games and we don't have help. I mean, I'm not picking on you, Melissa.
No,
I'm
if
poking
we
the bear
had
to
a-
see where it goes.
if we had a project that big, we would have to get help from somewhere, because we don't have the,
And for me, I don't see how, you know, one of those big buildings would ever fit around here. They wouldn't have water or sewer enough for them. You know, those guys have got sewer systems and water
And that's the
systems.
what if, right? Sewer and water could happen, and we say, you know, we don't see that building fitting today. In 5 years, things could change. There could be sewer, there could be water, and those could fit. And I think it'd be helpful to have an Act 250 to, as much as I don't like it, and I'm for some new housing, but I think we're still small enough where we need help. We have a good crew, but that could change tomorrow too. Melissa could get sick of us and say, see you later.
Well, I think if you did pass this, you still got a lot of options to discourage anything like that.
Yeah, but it becomes all our burden. And that just translates into money lately.
Right, but then if you have more properties to tax, then you have more money coming in if you decide to go in that direction.
Yeah, but do the
So it's sort
development,
of like a,
do the cost offset the tax revenues?
that's the question.
And that's the biggest question.
Right.
One thing I will just note
Mm-hmm.
is that there still will be a substantial burden on local review regardless of whether Act 250 is required. The Act 250 will come into play around a lot of the different natural resource considerations in terms of review, and they have, you know, a scattered development provision, which in these areas probably wouldn't be an issue. Conformance with local and regional plan.
Excuse me.
Anyway, so yeah, there is definitely an additional level of review, but it still does require that local
Right, it's still that-
subdivision and PUD,
Right.
which can.
Was brought
Well, just to move this along, I think at the risk of, it sounds like a divided board, but we did hear from our 2 representatives in Northwest Regional Planning at the last meeting. Both of them supported and had invested time. And we talked about, like urban St. Albans and where it kind of makes more sense, but I'd make a motion to support this. Just to move this along, and no hard feelings if people feel differently, sounds like they do, but I'd make a motion to support the Northwest Regional Planning Act 250 Tier 1B as presented tonight.
Just a point of order, would you need to include and sign something in there?
If
In that motion?
action was taken tonight, you could finalize the resolution tomorrow,
okay.
but it does need to be, before you handed it back, it does need to be signed by the secretary or chair.
Okay.
The other thing to note is, the action should be clear that you're opting in for all of the areas, because you could Some towns, actually everyone I think has opted in for all, but you could theoretically only opt in for the center and not the village area. So just, because that's noted on the back.
Would you amend your motion to include that?
All eligible
Sure.
areas would be sufficient.
But did you have a motion? Did you make that a motion, or you just
Brian
Brian
saying it
did.
out loud?
Brian made.
I was just,
No.
Brian's making a motion to
Yeah,
support.
but you had said something about negative before, so I didn't know if that was a motion or just a
No,
comment.
no, it was just discussion at that point.
So we need a second on Brian's motion.
I can't say I'm real crazy about signing
I
into
kinda
it.
lean the other way, so.
I don't,
So it fails for lack of a second.
yeah, I just don't bite into it quite yet. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, I just don't bite into the thing.
Why is regional planning pushing so hard on it?
We aren't pushing so hard on it, it's not our
Okay.
agenda at all.
Okay, no, that's, I'm just curious if this is you guys saying, hey, we wanna get it, or if this is you saying, this is a law that's come out and towns have the option, and you're just looking for an answer one way or the other.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, yeah, no offense taken, or it's one way or the other. This is your decision. Yeah, and so I mean, I can provide you with my professional opinion around the benefits of it or not, but it's not, you know, it's a municipal choice, and that is how the legislation was set up. But the legislation was set up for regional planning commissions to have the responsibility of mapping these areas with municipalities. So we're just doing
Okay, I
our
just
job.
wanna make sure
We're
we're-
just doing our job.
Gotcha. Yep.
So, and one of our jobs is also to provide information to municipalities about this decision
Yeah.
and to collect, like our regional plan has to be approved by the Land Use Review Board now, and it didn't used to. And so as part of that application for approval, we have to apply, we have to submit these resolutions. And the Land Use Review Board wants to know which towns want Tier 1B, because that's part of their job, is to issue that jurisdiction. So it's just part of the law, and we're part of the law as well in terms of creating these maps.
Yeah.
And working with towns to understand the law and understand the map and understand the decision before them. So it's okay if you decide not to opt in. But I guess.
But,
No, I guess I was gonna say, our recommendation would be to just say we're not gonna take action tonight. You don't have to like take specific action not to opt in. Does that make sense?
yep,
Yeah.
yep. No, that's,
You're advising like we should table it.
Well, yeah, so.
It doesn't have to be a table.
we can
but
just
it-
not take
yeah.
action.
Yeah,
Just
lack
not
of
take
a
action.
second required means that
Yeah.
you aren't taking
Yeah.
action, so.
And maybe we could join later on.
You're welcome, yeah, I mean, at any point in time, the way the law is set up, that if you decide, oh, we really want Act 250 Tier 1B, after our regional plan is approved this time around, municipalities can work with us to request a change in the map just for Tier 1B jurisdiction, separate from our regional plan adoption. Otherwise, it's an 8-year plan, and so we're not gonna be revising our plan for
Right.
another 8 years. It's probably not gonna be in effect until March at this point. But long adoption process.
Glad you made it in though.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to make it back.
I hope you make it safely back
One
to
piece.
School Hill.
Yeah.
Not too far though.
So we need a motion to.
No, we don't. Move on to the next item. Let's get out of here.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
brother.
Take care.
Safe trip home.
Kathy, do you have an invoice for the common school?
Yeah, it's all the way in the back area because it's under the 41 account, which is the common school account.
Okay.
It's not in the minutes.
You got any?
Well, so just in terms of the update, the hazard mitigation planning, I understood from Brian that you were wondering what changes there are in the way this document needs to be organized. And the change in 2025 is that it requires actions to fall under 4 categories instead of just kind of covered by our own, categories. So it reorganizes the way it's written into structures and infrastructure, natural systems protection, local plans and regulations, and education and awareness programs. So the way it's written has to change. And
Is that what Sheldon did?
so Sheldon had to do that, all of them have to do that, and Sheldon did a really good job doing that. So we have that draft, and also I wanted to mention that at the VLCT conference that I went to recently, at the town fair, administrators roundtable, we were talking about how AI is being used already in the different municipalities, and how people are handling AI. So there are actually some programs like Delve and HasAdapt and Grammarly and all of these other programs that can easily help us to work on using what's already been researched, validated, and come up with our answers for this document. So that's basically where I am right now. I don't know if you have any questions, but it's slow going at the moment because really closing out the grants that we have, making sure that the audit is finished, and doing the budgets and reconciliations for our budget planning has been taking priority.
How long does it take before we gotta do this?
We have a long time, it usually takes about a year to get the whole thing done. We do need to plan,
There's no date line or timeline?
not required, just by you guys, we have a timeline based on a meeting that we had a while ago. We had it kind of mapped out over a year.
This is the plan that David and Brian started, right?
Yeah, it's gonna take the time of days.
And just another update on, just out of the blue, the state of Vermont applied to FEMA for funding to update the hazard mitigation plans using 2026 money. So we were written into that. All of the ones that have expired or were going to expire have been written into that grant. So we'll see if anything comes through there. But who knows? That's basically all I have for that item. Brian, do you have anything to add?
No, I think that's good. We look for, we look for better progress going forward, and thanks for what you've done so far.
Thank you. Okay, so the next thing we have under new business that we need to schedule our budget meeting for next month, and also there was some I just was hoping that we could look at next year and figure out how we handle holidays. And we can do but one or both of those things. But I did bring calendars for you just in case you want to do both. So November, the next meeting is supposed to be the 24th, which is the week of Thanksgiving. And in the past, there has not always been a quorum on that day, so I just want to make sure that we are on the same page about that. November 24th is the next meeting, and it's the week of Thanksgiving, and sometimes people are traveling.
I don't
So
have a phone.
can I use, I need to grab a pen for some reason.
May have to catch a ride, Dave, but
Thank you.
make it work.
Do that,
Pardon?
So the week of,
Not probably anywhere.
the next meeting?
Huh?
I'm good on 24th.
I have class that night, so I won't be here
Okay.
until 8:30. If you're still going at 8:30, I'll be here.
Okay, so it
Got a
sounds like,
quorum anyways.
yep. For
I don't know
the,
about Brian.
Brian, are you gonna be around? On the 24th?
yeah, it's not a big deal, we'll make it work.
Okay,
I might be by Zoom.
okay.
I will be by Zoom.
Okay, so the December meetings are always a little weird too. The select board meeting would, wait a minute. Yeah, the second Monday is the 8th. And what we've done in the past is do the next Wednesday for our budget meeting. I was wondering if the 17th works for you guys? It's a Wednesday, and normally, since I've been here, you've been doing it morning to mid-afternoon.
I might be a little late, depends how my therapy goes, but I make it late morning.
Okay. Can we set that day for the 17th as the budget meeting?
You got time?
I think we do 9. Is that what we've done in the past? Does that work for you?
Yeah, we'll do 9 to noon, we'll do lunch at noon, and then finish up after if we have to.
Okay. And then, the next week is Christmas, and, and it's also the week, so it's the week of Christmas, and it's the 4th Monday.
22nd.
The 22nd is the
Yeah.
4th Monday.
8th and 22nd.
So we could either, I mean, it's up to you, you could do the 22nd or the 29th.
Just keep it consistent. Moving things around is a pain.
Same 22nd, I have class. Be here at 8:30.
It's perfect. Is Adam in that one? No, that's that.
No, he's in February. You said no for this one. 'cause he-
No, I wasn't.
No, Chantal said, it starts tomorrow.
The real boss told you what to want, right?
Yep.
She knows where to find me.
Yeah.
So we'll keep December on the 22nd. Thank you. And then I included the 2026 year just so that you can see where the yellow boxes on so we have the 2026 year that shows payroll and the select board and the holidays. The holidays are the green boxes. So there are some dates that we're gonna need to figure out at some point. We can do that today or not, but I think the bigger question was that sometimes, almost always, there are gonna be some days when we're not gonna, like Monday, October 11th, it was Indigenous Peoples' Day. And sometimes things like the Monday holidays fall on the select board meetings. And those are the days that are in our personnel policy that we're supposed to be able to take off. But there's, at those, I guess I just
So my
want.
2 cents is, let's just keep meetings as 2nd and 4th. It's consistent for us. I can't bebop and change.
Yeah, I just wanted
there's
to
no-
make sure.
Yeah,
that
that's
you
fine.
know
If
that
it's a day that you guys can have off, you can have a
do it
day.
like we did last time, if they can't make it.
Yeah,
they
if you
have
can't
to
make it,
then-
that's not a big deal.
Okay, perfect.
So you don't do your holidays or whatever.
Okay. So the next item was to talk about CDs. 2 questions for you all. One is, do we want to stay with People's Trust Company? That's the big one. I think they're going to have the best rates right now locally. I think it was down at the bottom of this chart. And it would be less difficult if we stayed with them. But the second question is also, do you want to put some of these into longer CDs? Because the rates are going down. And if we lock into longer terms, then we could be, gaining more money. So I listed the CDs on the top with questions at the last column, the discussion points.
There's only one that beats the People Trust rate, right? Or 2, I guess, right?
What was
North
that?
Country, it said 2 banks beat People's Trust rates.
Yes. And this is as of, I need to update this for the beginning of this month.
What's North Country, is that a credit union?
It's a credit union. So,
What are the two rates, a 6 month or 3 and a 6 month, or?
yeah, sorry, that's the 1 month and 12 month. I'm sorry, 1 month and 6 month, that's right, that's right.
It was not anything big enough to make me jump.
With all the paperwork and everything.
People's trust is,
Well, especially when you get into the 6 month, there's only one that meets the minimums.
yeah,
It's only 1.5%.
That little difference is not.
no, I'm gonna spend more on that, switch it
I'll
around.
make a motion to stay with people's trust.
Yeah,
I'll second.
we don't even need a motion, we just stay
Yeah,
with
we
it.
can
Just,
Yeah, I think we're all in favor of it, right? Fred?
Yeah.
Okay, so, so my next point was, I have some suggestions in the discussion column all the way to the right for each of these CDs, based on when we need to access them over the course of the year. But I'm wondering if you want to change them in any way. So the zoning CD is currently a 26-week CD. Do you want to keep that at 26 weeks, or do you want to do that as an annual?
What are we using that CD for? Why do we have it?
Yeah, nothing right now.
It's money from the state, isn't it? You get every year on the
That's right.
properties.
If you don't use it for anything, we don't have any projects coming up. The only thing was the bylaw review, and that's paid for already, right? So
We actually have overspent on our zoning miscellaneous line this year, because last year we underspent in that for the zoning bylaws, and we haven't used the zoning CD for the zoning bylaws review. But we could, if you want me to.
For $17 in interest, why don't we dump it into the zoning line item and use it?
Okay.
just eliminate it altogether.
Well,
Or
I'm just asking, is it,
we can definitely, I can do a journal entry
So-
to transfer the expenses.
So it goes into zoning checking, right?
right, I'm just saying, why are we keeping $7,000
$7,000.
earmarked for nothing?
Yeah.
If
Good point,
it's just one more piece of paperwork that,
Right.
that you don't need.
and between lawyer fees and whatnot, we've used it, we'll use it, whatever.
Hey, whatever happened, just because we're going to snow on it, whatever happened on the plowing thing at school?
Oh, we didn't get that. We didn't get it.
Did you get a
They
thing,
over-
what the bid was?
The bid was only like $400 more than what we put in. I mean, less. We were $400 more than what they put in.
Good.
So we were in
So
the
Morris
same-
is aware of it.
He is aware, yes,
So
absolutely.
just plow and go.
Yeah. What was that?
Who got it?
I brought that to a different meeting and I didn't bring it today. I'm sorry. I can look it up if you
Yeah.
want me to look in my
Go ahead.
emails before we
As
leave.
long as they're aware of it and they just gotta plow and move out, because
Yeah.
they spent probably 40 minutes up there, pooling and plowing.
lot of parking
If
lots.
somebody does that, they're gonna be surprised when they get them
Park Street, right? That's all they have to do,
around the school.
yeah,
I don't, one pass, can they do it one pass, or do they have to do two?
They
down,
might have to go one way and come back the other, but
So are we good with dumping that zoning CD?
yeah.
We can close this, okay.
Good with that, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I guess best way is go in from Route 36 and then you can turn around on this north
Mhm.
road and then go back and
yeah.
leave the furrow there.
That's their business, not ours.
You want to hear this?
So, what was that?
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
What did you say?
Nothing, unmuted momentarily.
Okay, so the computerization fund is 3511, it's 26-week CD. We do transfer money into that every year from the money that we get from the state for computerization.
For each parcel, right?
Yeah, so we can, We can transfer the expenses into, I would suggest that we either do a 26 or a 1 year for that one. Because we can just do one go, one big chunk and not have to worry about it every year. So would you like to do 26 weeks?
I'd leave it 26.
Okay. Equipment, small truck, that one also is a 26-week CD, and I was wondering if you wanted me to hold off on renewing it as 26 weeks until we pay for the grader. And maybe just do that 4-week CD, until then, I think we're.
Where is the money from those properties? Where is that listed?
So I have another document here for the budget. It's currently documented in the operating fund under miscellaneous. And we
Is
have
it
to decide.
segregated so it doesn't get used up just in general funds?
Right now, it's revenue documented in the general fund. And then before the end of the year, if you want me to transfer it into something, we can do that.
Right, I just wanna make sure it doesn't get, because I've seen it happen before. Gets thrown in general funds and then gets used up. The money got used up for general funds.
And it looks like you got a big surplus and really,
You don't. That was a separate item and we're gonna keep that money separate.
Right,
So I
so,
don't know how you need to put it as a journal entry, but it should be separated out
So you
in some manner so you know what's in there and what's staying there.
okay, so what would you
say
like
put
me
it
to
into a CD.
Put it into a CD or something, make it 4-week one, I don't care what you do with it.
Okay,
For the grader when you're talking?
No, but I'm talking the money from those property sales.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So that's, we know where that money is, what we choose to do with it, and it just doesn't get absorbed in the whole system.
okay. So I can open, you'd like me to open a CD
Even
with
if you
the
do it for,
revenue?
yeah, a month or
So
something. till
we
determine-
had talked about what to do with that at one meeting at one point.
At one point, you discussed you discussed and you decide on whether or not you wanted to put it into the legal fund, which is
No,
currently,
no,
nobody agreed.
no.
It was sort of a
So
discussion.
why don't we do that? Because there's still some question, right?
Yep.
Whoever the higher ups are say, maybe we can't keep that money for some dumb reason. All the sold land, put it into one CD.
Okay,
It's there, it's ours.
Must be a pretty good chunk of money, right?
it is.
26.
Gotta be
200?
over.
The miscellaneous altogether, which is inclusive of other, other miscellaneous, which is very small. That budget line is at $154,986 of revenue. But I would just take out the,
The amount we got for the land sales.
yep, and put it in that CD.
Yep.
So what I'm doing is I'm keeping note of this, and I'm gonna summarize it and request a motion at the end. if
I
that's
think
okay.
that one, you could do it for a year.
Go 6
You need it,
months so
you
it's
can-
available. Because if you put it in for a year and you take it out, they take a year's interest off. So let it refresh at 6.
Excuse me.
Because if that culvert comes up and we need 150,
Right.
there it is, whatever the
I
case.
think the 6-month one on that probably is a good idea. Because we know we're gonna be, if that thing all gets through and we get the grant, we know we're gonna come. Because that other deal wound up by Robbie Dan's been 450, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. You know, you're not gonna get enough grants to pay for that culvert.
No, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
come up
it's
with
gonna
some,
be at least
You're gonna have to come up with more than that.
700,000.
yeah. Probably
I'm not
500.
said we're gonna get the grants yet either.
No,
Yeah.
we don't get the grant. It's gonna stumble through with it for a while.
So when do we
So-
expect to receive the grader?
So I heard, I read in the minutes somewhere along the line at a meeting that I wasn't at, that you had discussed, or Mo had said that the update on the grader was next year, not this year.
It'll be a
Correct.
2026
It'll
model,
be a
it's January.
2026 model.
delivered before the first of the year.
So let's put
Okay.
the grader back in a 1 month CD or whatever the short
Yeah.
term is.
Okay. So, yeah, the equipment small trunk will be 1 month CD.
Yeah.
Lister reappraisal CD is currently 26 weeks, and that also goes into, that's money that comes from the state. It goes into the CD a couple times a year currently, and that makes sense, or we can do,
I would think you'd do a year on that one,
So Lister reappraisal, we just went through a reappraisal.
2 years
right?
ago.
And there's
So-
money that comes from the state every year to go
For each
toward the next
parcel.
one,
Right.
just the next one.
That's why we had enough money to pretty much pay for the reappraisal, because we had so much in that fund.
Right.
And we don't have a reappraisal
Does that-
plan for
right.
next year, so,
Do
You won't
we-
have a reappraisal for another 5 years.
right,
minimum.
so it could be a 5-year.
So I guess I'm asking, do we have to have that money there earmarked for that? Can we use that for something else?
It
Is
can't be. It comes from the state directly for that kind of a
And you're
project.
lucky if you got it on hand, because a lot of towns didn't segregate it, and they got to caught with their pants down.
That was, and that reappraisal's a pricey
Mhm.
ticket.
But is it pricey, we have to keep that in there for 5, 6, 10 years? I mean, that's,
Well, it'd be 150,000.
You can't use it for, reappraisals that we do,
or paying for the service.
yeah, that's what I was trying,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to spin out in my head.
It's used to pay for the service of reappraisal, and normally we do that every few years, so,
So couldn't it pay for the listers?
no, it's not.
Recording in progress.
So I'm just gonna record the rest of this meeting, because I gotta leave,
Okay.
and that way I can finish the minutes
Okay,
mañana. So when you're done, just close my computer,
okay, thank you.
and I'll put everything away tomorrow.
Thank you, Melissa.
See you later,
Thank you.
Melissa. Safe
Safe
trip
drive.
back down there.
Thank you.
All right, so that stays there, might as well go 26.
Drive safe.
So 26 weeks.
Where did it all?
Maury Cemetery account is strange. I really don't understand it, but I do know that it has a restriction somewhere in the archives,
We gotta go.
according to Linda.
Why?
So,
Because it's bedtime.
I've never pulled money out.
No, but all those things are earmarked. The cemetery funds, something will come up, somebody will want a sign or a fence, or will need
Where's the Maury
something.
one?
Maury's up in Rhino.
Do we want to do an annual?
Right by your mother's
that?
house,
Yeah, that one right before the old Brandon house, just past it.
right there on the ledge.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
I'm not sure why it's a 4-week CD, honestly. I've never seen money go in or out of it, except for the interest.
No, but you gotta keep it separate, because if you had to do some work up there, that's what it's earmarked
Yeah.
for.
That fence needs repair.
Right, that's what I mean.
Some work, if you do some work on the stones, that's what it's for.
So we keep it at 4 weeks.
So,
Not 4 weeks, no.
6 month.
6 months.
Yeah, 26. Okay. The library this is the Wanzer Dot is managed by the library. They transfer money into that in December, and out of it sometimes. The cemetery fund, that one is actually revenues comes in, she told me which other.
For
what's the-
some sale of lots, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a sale of lots. We have some money that needs to go into that. Once I deposit that revenue, do you want to lock into a 4-week CD? I mean, a 4-week, or a 26-week CD. It seems like 26 weeks.
Seems like 26 weeks makes more sense for that.
Yeah.
Okay, the paving fund CD, again, this was, the AP was spent, but, do you want to do that as an annual CD? If we locked into it now, then it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be able to access it until November, like next November.
I would,
No.
I would go back 26 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna
26,
pave
but not
again
4
next fall.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. 26.
What's the minus 25,000?
The 25, so there's the expense that we had in our paving budget for this year's paving expense. The invoice was higher than what we had budgeted,
Yeah.
and that was predicted as a certain amount, and that was 25, let's see, it was the,
Right, but that was paid two meetings ago, a
right,
month ago. Okay.
right, it was,
So this is just balancing it out.
right,
The
exactly.
27,000 will be the balance pre or post,
Pre,
so we're down to $2,000 in that account?
yes.
Okay, so put it in 26 weeks. Do we have any money to put in there? We have to do our budget, And put
Budget
money-
time.
right?
Yeah, we can do something like that in the budget, transfer
I
out.
was just saying, when do we transfer into that CD?
I've never seen anything transferred into that CD. It's not since
So
I've been
that's
here.
our,
But it can be a discussion point in the building of the next budget.
I mean, if you did a budget, and the budget passed, you could take that money and put it in a CD if it would gain money.
Right, you could do then, as you said, take the money and if you borrowed it, it all depends if you had to borrow it to do it.
Right, if
If
you had to
you
borrow it, then you was lost, you just,
Yeah.
and they probably don't have that money beginning of the year.
So how do we fund that paving CD? How has that been funded in the past?
Well, you get some from the state.
We get some carryovers.
It doesn't come from the state, but there might be money that has gone in there before I was here as an
That's what I'm asking
appropriate,
is-
some kind of thing.
Right.
Which can go back into the budget if that's something that you wanna do.
I'd keep it, cause we've always tried to carry a little extra balance in that, so that when we get in projects like we did this fall, we had enough money to finish those two ends when they were there. It was a hell of a lot better buy than coming back and doing those two little sections.
Yep.
you know?
And we do all of the transfers of, like, the transfer to, the surplus funds transfer to equipment and the equipment fund transfer and the capital fund transfer. All of that happens when we raise money, because we start the budget in December, pass it in March, and then we don't raise the money for that budget until November. So the money in November that's when we pay the appropriations and make the transfers. I think it makes sense even if you put a transfer out into the budget this year, it makes sense for this to be an annual. Just because we can still transfer money into that at the right time if we lock in now.
If we go on an annual, we're beyond our paving
Paving
season.
Paving
So-
day usually runs September, October.
I'd just soon have it 6 months, we can review them all, the money's accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be any big savings.
No,
Yeah. So the Mary Wallet, so this is also gonna cut back on this crazy amount of paperwork that goes along with these CDs as well. I just appreciate that you're working on this with me. The Mary Wallace Estate CD is also a library. They do some transfers in December and they kind of they understand the restrictions around that.
How did those two get into the library budget? And those
The
guys,
Mary Wallace in Wandsworth,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a library when
they were, not deeded, but like, they have a legacy donation status. So it's in the archives as, there's some will money in some of this, maybe both of them. And the restrictions are in the will, and it's in the archives at our office, but they manage how to use that money every year. And it's all supposed to go to the
I
library.
do agree with Tom that Mary Wallace,
well, even the Wandsworth dog.
I'll have to ask Dennis about that.
I thought-
Well, back then, they were, at least Dennis's mother was alive. When that library started, but that Mary Wallace wasn't. Unless they wanted to put it towards the library, I guess.
well, it was still the library in the school, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was still the Ben Northrop up there, and then they built their,
Yeah, okay, you're right, yeah.
it was still the
When it was at the
organization.
school, that was 1988, right? That's when that addition went up? You were on the school board then?
Yeah, I was in the school.
Yeah, well, we weren't praising you for that one.
All right, let's keep
All
going.
right,
So,
we're
we
almost
get
there,
out
we're
there.
almost there.
equipment CD goes to a short one, because we're gonna need
Yeah, until
that.
the grader,
Yeah.
and then the capital project fund CD, there was, what's the 2,500 AP?
We're not,
I can't remember.
but we're not using the capital fund for the grader, correct?
We haven't talked about doing that.
We put
that's-
2,500 from 25,000, so there were two places we had the paving surplus, the
Yeah,
expense.
I was gonna say, why you got 25?
Yeah, the two places that the paving expense, what came from, other than the general fund, was we basically maxed out of the paving fund CD, except for that $2,000, and the capital project CD.
Yeah,
And those were approved at the beginning, when you approved the bids.
yeah.
But that might as well go back to, we're gonna need that spring for construction.
So we also have to transfer, I have a transfer in of maybe $200, I think $20,000. When I do this rollover, I'll transfer in the $20,000 from the general fund, capital improvements line. So we're down 5,000 basically between the two. And then, the Fairfield Common School. Do we wanna keep doing 4 weeks? Right now it's 13 weeks, which doesn't make sense. We could do 4 weeks, we could do 26 weeks.
I would think 26.
I would think 26 makes more
Because they
sense.
got their little line item in our budget anyway, so anything big comes up.
I didn't see that invoice either. Yeah, here.
Common School Architect. Sorry, I can't see it.
I'm fighting that
Where's
last one.
41.6, so that's 22. Huh, I guess it's not in here.
Excuse me.
Well, that's unfortunate. It's probably on my desk because these were all, it was on the back, so.
I'm just curious, how
I can-
stingy about spending money on
It was approved
How
by
much was diesel
Greta.
fuel?
I had her approve it before we put it in there.
Or
So,
heating oil?
so we're good. Okay, so, I would request a motion to be made that we, close the zoning CD and put it into our general fund. We, let's see, continue 26 weeks on the computerization fund.
That was for
We
the heating oil or for
Continue a
diesel?
26 week, roll the, small truck equipment fund, into a 4-week CD. The Lister reappraisal fund into a 26-week CD. The Maury cemetery account into a 26-week CD. The cemetery fund into 26-week CD. The paving fund into a 26-week CD. The equipment fund into 4-week CD. The capital project fund into 4 weeks. What did we decide on that?
We didn't decide on that. Might as well be 3, but we don't need it until we do a capital project, right? We're not spending money out of that for the grader. So,
I mean, I
Is there
don't
a
know if you
3-month
are or
option?
you're not. I mean, I would,
no,
okay,
that we've got to put towards
okay, so that would,
culverts and buildings and infrastructure.
we could do a 26-week CD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause some of that might have to come out of that culvert too.
Yeah,
If we do it next summer.
they must have a 3-month. It'd be nice to have it available in the spring, because if we decide there's a project we're gonna do in the spring.
I'll give you a 3-month, I'll look into a 3-month.
You won't have a grant by then.
And then, no, we won't.
That project won't come until fall.
No, but I'm saying in the spring, if there's something else that comes up, I mean, a blasting project like the other one, I mean, that's a capital
Yeah,
type.
there's an emergency type thing.
I'd rather have it available in the
Shouldn't be too bad
spring.
for the budget right anyways, because it should have been 5,000 from the year before, right? For that.
Right, but you only carry the budget if you didn't carry the 5,000 forward and make it 10,000 in the
Right.
budget. You carried just 5,000, so the 5,000 kind of disappeared in your general fund.
Let Kathy finish her
So
motion,
then
so.
so it'd be 3 months for the capital project CD, and then 26 weeks for the Fairfield Common School CD. So moved, anybody?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it, just get moved along.
Great, and,
All those in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
All right,
Did you add a CD for the sales on that?
Oh, sorry, could you make a motion
Can I make a
also
motion to
to-
have us make a CD for the proceeds from the sale of the 4 properties in the last couple months?
Yeah, the
Yep,
last.
separated. I'll second that one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank
all right.
So the last part was the budget review. I don't know if you want to go through it. I can do a really quick review. We're on,
Might as well wait and do it.
What are we waiting to do with that night? I'm out of here. I'm ready to go.
You're not leaving until I say you're leaving.
You
I'll right
have it and
home.
look
Maybe
at
get
it.
right with Tom.
we're on track.
Well, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, the only thing that you're gonna notice is that big miscellaneous line, but that's gonna change before the
See that
next
last
meeting
one?
anyway.
Yeah. Look it over on, tell us when we're on top of it.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
we're okay so far.
Yeah, we're good, we're in good shape. Last,
I'm gonna get a motion, to accept the warrants.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
All right,
Alright. Dave, you've been signing them? You in
I'll
favor?
wait until I see the one for the common school. I'm stingy about changing, spending money.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Temporarily, we'll have to hold.
What else we got on there?
I think that's
it.
about it.
Why, was it a big amount?
1,800, 1,900. I think it's for that grant thing.
Oh, for that grant thing, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit upset that last time we got together, they talked about the postcard they sent out. I didn't get it through the Sheldon mail until a month later, but it makes it sound like we're all for dumping tons of money into it.
Well, the building's worth 1.2 million.
Why? In that case, I make a motion to sell that.
I think
I
we
think
should
we
same
should get rid
thing.
of it.
Let's put it on the market and say it's been appraised.
50% on.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent idea. No negotiation, that's the best we can do.
I'm up for discussion, but I spent some time in that building a couple weeks ago. It rained the day of fire safety. And the state usually brings up 2 trailers for us to use for the kids. Neither one of them were ready, surprise, surprise. So we used the common school, so we were out in the mud.
Yeah,
My God, the room upstairs has gotta be 6 inches, 8 inches from the center of the room to the corners.
that much of a drop.
Oh.
Well, my house is that way, built that way in 1865 with used lumber.
Yeah.
When we started fixing the
I
living.
just wanna see that dollar figure after they get done this thing, and I think that's gonna say, okay, it's not gonna happen.
I'm all for it if you find a use, regardless of the dollar.
mix
You're
it
good.
with the library.
That is a part, but what will you truly use it for?
And that's what, I'm not saying there's gonna be a big dollar return, but there's gotta be some use of some sort.
I mean,
I spend a lot of time,
daycare is not gonna.
I spend a lot of time driving from Derby to Fairhaven, I mean, all corners of the state and upper New York. Every town has got one of those buildings. They fix them up and then they fall apart, and they fix them up and it's sad, but.
You could make it into housing, they're looking, because there's a big thing, article on TV where they're looking for do housing in the center of towns
It's
For
been a
senior
conversation for the upstairs, actually.
for senior citizens.
So then you put an elevator in, because it's the only way they could get up those
It's not a
stairs.
good location for housing, really, it's by the school.
There's a parking issue. There's a
all
certain
kinds of
number,
issues.
there's a certain number of parking spaces that must be allotted to an apartment.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get that many places,
Right.
you know, for.
So they have drawings done.
Oh, yes, they're all on the website, on the committee website.
Okay. Yes, I'd be
Ron could have told us
nice
that.
to. Yeah. Move on. You want to sign this?
Oh, we can take a vote on this now?
Sure.
Perfect. I'm not gonna sign them. We've already done it, we don't need
Oh,
to.
you son of a gun. Well, you better sign the common school one then.
Thank you.
Have one of them sign the common school one.
Greta did, she's.
No.
signing
No,
Our signature page.
Tom needs to sign it.
the- Oh, I see.
You're gonna have to. You came down and signed last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't,
Yeah.
and the 2 of you said you were doing it, and then I ended up
Yeah.
in Canton the next morning and.
Oh, shoot.
So are we adjourned yet?
I don't know.
We got it, that's it. We got a legal thing, anything to deal with other than that, and get out of here.
Nothing urgent. I think we could go into an executive session for an update on the wind farm, if you wanted to, or we can just wait until the next
Got another meeting coming, don't we?
couple weeks. Nothing urgent. Our lawyer has done some work.
But it's basically the discussion we had last time and there's nothing to do.
At this point, no. He did some work and now there's nothing else that we can do.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I second that.
Sometimes you just gotta take action, right?
Yeah.